Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode here on the Fallen Kingdom server, brought to you by our sponsor, the Fallen Kingdom server, and me with the Fallen Kingdom server. Did you know that you can play on the Fallen Kingdom server at the IP that's on the right side of the screen called play.fallenkingdom.co? And if you type that into your server menu browser place on Minecraft Java 1.14 and higher, you will be able to get on here and play and make yourself a kingdom and have a great, dandy, good old time. Get yourself up to kingdom level 3, hopefully, and then you too can make our gold go down to nothing. So
I couldn't remember. Did we get attacked or did we spend it all right at the end? I think we
well,
spent it all.
I mean, we spent most of it. I think we had like 50,000 left or something, but for protecting the 50,000 and only 18 raid points, I didn't think it was necessarily worth the daily grace periods.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, but I'm partially surprised that I guess Troy must have been stuck for several days, stranded with a baby on his lap, and he was unable to come on and make an attempt at the path.
Oh.
I kind of thought Troy was going to do that.
Yeah,
I thought Troy was going to be our saving grace.
Yeah, no, like usually he's dependable, but like listen, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. He's going to do what he's going to do. You know what I mean?
Caitlin says, I had to use all my troops against you when I raided last night. Huh.
Like, is that supposed to, like, I don't know if that's supposed to make us feel better or not. Like, I had to use more troops against you than normal just before I could kill you dead.
Well, no, but like that is progress. That would imply that our path is better now than it was before.
Sure.
Right? So, but I don't know.
I think one of the things that we're really suffering from is the unleveled barricades as well.
It's true. Yeah.
But again, we need to we really need to work on the offense and continue on that, because that's where we get our money to be able to do the upgrades for everything else. So it's like without that, we can have the most defensible thing, but we can't get any raid points. So I do think we're still.
I know, but I still think there is a way that we could prevent some. We could optimize. I just know that there's some way that we could optimize that I'm just like not seeing right now. And I feel like our second barricade is like a really strong setup currently, but I think our first barricade, there is some way that we could improve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah. It's all ranged. Like, literally, it's all ranged. You know, what might... Well, do we have more towers that we can put in front of the barricade, or is the barricade, is it full?
No, we could put one more on the first part.
I'm just wondering if, like, I mean, like an iron golem or something that, like, again, try and slow them down that much more in that area. Or we could, maybe we should move our ginormous snow golem.
That's what I was thinking.
Over
yeah,
to kind of that
put
area.
the snow on the first part. Yeah.
Maybe even just move all these down one. I don't know.
I'm wondering, like if we put Snowman right here, it could yield a lot more effectiveness potentially. I can't remember what's the Snowman's range. It is 7. Okay. 7 blocks. It's not like super far, but
Isn't that like a radius, or is that like 7 out?
I think it's just 7 blocks. 7 blocks in all directions, forming a 15 by 15 square centered around the tower. Okay. It's good to know. Okay, it's a 1 tile radius. So that would mean that we would want it more like in here, right?
Right. I mean, I'd almost just say pick up this guy and put it in and move him and put it in there. And then
we already have Snowman in there, so I feel like we should take the other Snowman though, and we should just kind of put it somewhere else.
Well, I'd put the bigger one there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, certainly.
And then I mean, if we want to, like, almost even maybe just try swapping the two. I'm not sure. I don't know what I'm doing or why.
Swapping. What do you mean swapping the two?
Swapping, basically putting the smaller snow spot over to where it was. So you move the big one over to here.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. So we do that, and then we put a guardian over there. Gotcha. Or sorry, a mage over there.
There we go. So you've got a bigger slowdown in all the big pain area. And we still have, I mean, we still have some slowdown in the secondary pain area, but the big pain area, the big range pain, is supposed to be all right there.
Although, yeah.
What about moving the mage to where the snowman was, move the guardian over one, and put the snowman where the third guardian currently is? Once again, we are asking you to remove the baby from your lap and talk to us. What?
Please join the Discord, Troy. Does the baby, like, prevent you from speaking? Or I guess the baby might say things. The baby might say non-disclosure things.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
that baby's gonna leak valuable information about Troy's life. The baby's gonna dox him. It's gonna be like, Dad, can't we order something to our address at such and such location? And then Troy is gonna be in trouble. Oh, Troy is moving things around. Oh, Troy is doing. Oh, you know what? We would actually get more use out of putting a snowman here. That is very true. Wait.
Troy's got ideas. Troy
does have ideas.
He's showing he's doing. What is that? Oh, that's a guardian. I was like, what is that? Because I didn't see the guardian on top of it. It's just like this weird pillar. Yeah, ban baby for heavy doxing. You know, ban the baby for delay. You know, just.
And then are we doing other snowman there? Is that the play? Oh. Wait, where's it going to go? Where's it going to go?
He's got plans. Okay. All right.
Troy is a man with a plan of Canal Panama.
He put that one back where it was. He actually replaced everything except for this one mage and
it was basically a swap. Well, no, there's no more snowman on the second. The snowmen are they're at the first one. And yeah, but anyway. Here, hold on. Sorry, give me one moment. One momento, and I just mute and be right back. 1 sec, indeed.
Okay. Also, guys, while he's doing that, remember, if you do end up joining us, which we hope you do, you can play entirely for free. If you decide to get something from the shop, please use code ZINE, but there's no obligation. You're welcome to join in, be a part of it, and have a good time, all without ever having to hit the shop at all. But if you do, code X33N, appreciated. Thank you. Okay, so.
All right, sorry about that. We good?
Caitlin's saying, pick this up and move this.
Pick this up and move this.
Yep.
What is this?
The tower.
Which tower?
This tower, the one I'm holding.
Oh, okay, cool. You're already holding it. Good. I don't actually know where you are.
I'm at the end barricade, and Caitlin said...
Oh, you're the end. Okay, gotcha.
Swap the mortar with the B.
Okay. Cool.
I don't know what Miss Coach just said. Oh, downgrade? No, over here. Over there. Trying to do stuff through the...
through text chat with people watching the stream on a delay. It's kind of difficult. It's definitely kind of difficult for sure.
Thing. Oh, so these mortars over here. Okay.
What about those mortars over there?
I think these are the ones, but I don't know which one Caitlin wants us to move. She wants the B swapped around with a mortar, but I don't know which one, which of the mortars it is. So I'll go fix what I mistakenly mistook for mistakes. But
middle one should be B, apparently. Okay, I will change that.
We have a member of our community named Lovely Lady Bee, and she is just the epitome of grace. So you say bee, and I just think, what a nice woman.
Oh, okay. That's very nice. I'm glad you have a nice bee in your community.
We have a fantastic bee. Okay.
Okay, cool. Should we could test raid this? I wonder if the this snowman here actually could make a decent difference. I feel like could be the play, dude. It could be the play.
All right. Well,
should we do it? Let's do it. Let's do it.
But wait! Don't! No!
It's a test raid? What's the Oh, okay. It's like, man, it's not like a test raid is some high effort, bro. We're okay. All rightsy then. So, right. Double Jerry.
Double Jerry.
And then we do a little bit of
double Jerry.
Andy, Witch, Puffer, Andy, Skelly Horseman. Then wait for a little bit of the, wait for a bit, and we do it in groups. We do it in groups, apparently, right?
Yeah, I mean, waves, yeah. I don't think that snowman did a whole lot with how we have our path. Because the cherries are on the inside, and so they have less to cover.
Oh, you mean like just the way that it spawned, we got kind of unlucky?
Yeah, I mean, I guess these endies are getting a little ahead, but...
Keep in mind, the snowman does double duty. Like, even once they get through the first barricade, it's gonna be hitting again.
Right.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. It might do terribly. Might do absolutely horribly, but we'll find out.
We got a little bit of damage on some of the endies, but not a lot. I wish during a test you could still fly.
Yeah, it'd be kind of nice. Get an overview of things, dude. Okay, they did make quick work of that one.
Yeah, we didn't... That did not seem like an improvement.
Oh, I should probably, like, spawn stuff, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you're in charge. If you lose to us, then that will be both successful and embarrassing.
Right. I guess if we do not win now...
right there. Ooh, that's a spot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this Guardian...
Oh, yeah, that's a big, powerful
that's like a
channel here.
Brutal laser beam right there.
Yeah. Okay.
Can't see how much health horsemen have. Oh, he's down to 55.
It's Pain Alley right there.
We definitely broke up the formation a little bit.
There are still a couple Jerrys. Those witches are not going to make it.
We don't have anything. Yeah. Oh, that mortar can reach all the way over there. That's nice.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I mean, we're certainly not winning.
No.
We just need, like, about twice as many towers doing about twice as much damage, and then I think we'd be good.
Also, to be fair, I did not quite spawn everything as soon as I could have, so it means that we could have done even better, potentially. So, yeah, upgrading the barricades would certainly help. I still think we're having some sort of lacking in the first barricade that could be fixed somehow if we just knew things better.
If we just knew how to, fix it. If we could solve the problem, then we could really fix things up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then the witches have finally caught up for the first time. We did... Oh, I was going to say, we did get all the Jerrys, but there's still one back there.
Yeah.
But we don't have anything up here that's really doing anything.
No. I think it needs to be upgraded iron golems to really make much of a difference.
So, we did great and failed. Excellent.
I love doing great and failing at the same time.
I mean, I succeed exceptionally at least half of that.
I succeeded at beating us.
Good job. You finally found an opponent you can take.
Yeah. Shh. Okay, but what is it about the first barricade of Atlas Summit? Is it just because all their towers are super upgraded?
You
Do we
could
think that if we had the same level towers as Atlas Summit, that this first section here would be bad?
you could go on a visiting thing and take a
I
look.
just don't like to copy. I just don't want to like straight up copy them, you know?
Well, I didn't say go take them, but you could see kind of the ideas of what they're doing, why they're trying to do it, evaluate.
We could see the C shape, apparently.
Yeah.
All right, where is Atlas Summit? They are not open for business.
They're like, you can't look at us unless we let you.
Oh, there they are. They are open for business.
They're open for business. I'm getting emeralds right now, but if anything interesting happens, then let me know.
Okay.
I've been withered.
Yeah, I see that. They don't have any snowmen even.
Well, I mean, the
It is
snowmen
nine.
are
It's
nice
nine
to
towers.
the snowmen are nice to break up the formation, but the reality is you're sacrificing damage right there, and so it's a big cost to do that.
Right.
And I think that people are saying we're kind of saying like try and use the outline of your path so that again you have the inside and the outside lane, and you can throw people off because those on the outside are going to move a lot slower than those on the inside, instead of necessarily using snowmen, so that way you can maximize DPS but also still kind of have things not easily sticking to their pathing order.
Right.
That's just what I would come up with, making everything up as I go.
I want to see. I mean, do you want to go for a? What if we go forward 2 more blocks at the start of our path before turning? Basically, make a second switch start. That is not. Atlas Summit goes right immediately. For reference, I mean, Atlas Summits is kind of similar. They do a little bit more of a loop.
It's basically the same thing, except for the things that they get different. Yeah.
I mean, Zine.
Yes, sir.
You have this idea with the inner and outer paths that it's a concept my small brain can't completely wrap around.
Why?
Do you want
it's physics. You speak physics.
No, I don't. That's like French, right? They start with PH and F sounds. Do you want to take another crack using the things that we have learned from the things? We could do it. We could watch their test raid too.
Yeah, let me get back.
Let's try watching their test raid. Zine is correct about path distances. Nice. Cool. Zine is big smart, and I don't fully understand, but we take his word for it.
How do I get over to them?
Go to the bridge, and then just go enter the portal.
Enter le portal. Okay.
Man, the shaders are so pretty, dude. They're so pretty. I switched over to Silder's Vibrant. And it's very pretty.
Silder's Vibrant, I really like, but you have to change it so that all the light isn't so red. I hate how all the light is just like, so orange and red. And I know that's like they're trying to give the tone of the torches and stuff like that, but that's what bothers me. As long as I adjust to where it's more like just a light is light, not everything is orange and yellow hued, then I enjoy.
How do you adjust that?
You go into the shader page, and then there's shader options in the bottom right where you select your shader.
Oh, okay. Okay,
there's like a million things.
They do a double Jerry, and then a couple witches and Endermen, and then they do double witch, 1 Jerry, and then they follow it up with a Jerry. Interesting.
I mean, I can adjust cylinders to have the wider light curve more. Like, it's adjustable, but...
Is this gonna make it through? They seem like they're obliterating themselves.
I mean, that's the ideal.
Yeah, I know. But...
But I agree with you that I like cylinders. I really like, at the very least, like, cylinders just enhanced default is just really nice to just put a little bit of, to not change the look of things, but to put a little shine on
Oh yeah,
it all.
enhanced default's nice. Enhanced default's nice. Oh, okay. There they go. Now they get more spawns in. Oh wow, their witches all made it, and they're very lined up to deal nice heals. Is this what it's like to, you know, think that you're doing okay, and then you watch like professionals, and you're like, oh, that's how it's supposed to be.
Were you paying attention to how they were doing spawning and the orders and the rates and stuff?
I was, yeah,
okay,
I was.
Good.
I mean, it wasn't terribly different than what I started off doing on our test raid just now, which is like it was 2 Jerrys, then 2 Endermen, 2 witches, and like a skeleton horseman, and then the next was 1 Jerry, 2 Endermen, 2 witches, like another ranged, and then they followed that up with 1 more Jerry in the tail, and then I think that was their first barricade. They don't use pufferfish though.
I mean, they have pufferfish cannons in there.
Oh, do they? Oh, they do have some. Okay.
I was like, yeah. Wait, what?
You know, the shaders made it a little harder to see. They don't have any more Jerrys, though. I wonder if they have any on reserve. I guess they probably do. Why do they make it look so easy? They have 1 more Jerry.
Because their stuff's top.
Oh, and then they go crazy on skeletons and husks. Interesting.
Well, I think you would base that off of whether or not you have things that are gonna like. They don't seem to have any major mortars from this point forward, and mortars are going to destroy those low health things. But you can spawn a bunch. Like basically, you know, you just think of it as like, if you have something that can do AoE and just take them out easy, then they're worthless. But if it takes things to individually target them, then they're going to get a shot off. You're going to get a lot of DPS. You're going to get a lot of them out there real quick. And yeah, they might die off pretty easy, but still, it's not a bad way to utilize.
They are not going to survive very well. They are going down. They're going down hard. They've not survived. A few skeletons did, though. Do they have enough here at the end to stop this? They might actually beat themselves. I don't think they're gonna make it.
Nah. Those big. I mean, an Enderman made it through. Oh, they do have a mortar.
Yeah,
oh,
but
that is a mortar. I didn't realize the creepers are mortars.
I think that Enderman is going to be able to single-handedly do this.
I mean, he's got a witch on him. And the witch isn't taking damage from...
Oh my god, is this going to be like the most perfectly engineered... No, that witch is done. That witch is
witch is in for a bad day.
Yeah. Wait, it's only the mortar that's hitting though. Wait, are the iron golems... Can the iron golems reach?
Yeah, clearly.
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, okay. There we go.
Boot.
That was close though.
All right.
So what do you notice from their path? Do you notice things that we could apply to ours? Aside from just copying them.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's the same but different, right? Like I'm sure there's things that we can do better, but it has to do with, you know, part of what is it's so apples to oranges with our lower tower level that we don't necessarily know how you know, whether our setup really is powerful or if it's just that our towers are so weak, you know. But they have more switchbacks right here in front of the Guardians, and they end up with it looks like at least 3 lanes, or three different lanes of thing in front of the Guardians. So that's going to be a fair amount. And then they pair Guardians with the archers. They get more use out of their archers and have definitely a lot longer loop about them.
Right.
And then they kind of only hold a little bit back for the rest, and so it's one section that's high range, just almost, in fact, literally pure range. There's no ground at all on their first barricade, and then they do try and break everything up by that point down at the end. So the point of the range at the beginning is to do so much DPS that they burn the Jerrys and don't leave them, and then the Jerrys are gone by the time you get to the ground, is what I kind of think the goal is.
Mm-hmm.
But is that all applicable to what we have and what we're doing?
Good way to put it.
I mean,
eloquently done. Eloquently said.
That's correct. Well, at least the observations I'm observating are the correct observations.
Yeah.
So, but I want to go here, and
Have you headed back to our kingdom?
yeah, I just did /home.
All right.
Oh, I'm like, why can't I fly? My fly isn't working. I have to turn my fly back on.
So, I mean, what were you saying that the Guardians are not getting the max efficacy? Is it just that the switchbacks are not done at the right configuration, basically?
Possibly.
Like the switchbacks need to, instead of going, I don't know if you can come to me. I'm kind of near the beginning of the path.
Yeah, I'm just trying to do something real quick, but I'll be right there. Okay.
So are you saying, like, instead of it being set up like this, that it comes in here and does the switchback? That's how Atlas Summit had it done. It's basically the inverse, switchbacks.
Well, they do the same thing as what we've got, but then they pull it back along, so they come back here. They have the Guardians there, but we are doing the same. We are actually, in fact, we have a little bit more coverage with our Guardians, where we have, because I was saying they had 3 lanes. So if you think of the lanes as like number of tiles, right? So they have 2 tiles forward and 1 tile back with their path. We actually have 2 tiles forward and 2 tiles back with our paths. So I think we might actually have better coverage with our Guardians than they do. Whether that's advantageous or not is another question. And we also have moved by putting the Snowman Fortress here and the Guardian out. We lowered the amount of usable targeting space for the Guardian slightly in favor of the Snowman Fort. So I don't know if that was the best play or not.
Well, okay, so the alternative would be to, like, separate out the snowmen so that you would have, like, 1 right here, and then you would have 1 over here, and then 4 Guardians in this line.
Possibly.
But I don't know if that's...
Whether that's better or not, I don't know. But,
yeah.
So, give me, again, just a second. Sorry. I want to...
He's planning it out.
Well, no.
Oh. He's not planning it out. All right.
I appreciate that you believe, but nah.
Got it. Okay, cool. Okay, so they don't have any snowmen. I wonder if would it be better to have more DPS here at the first barricade versus having this snowman? But I guess what would be our DPS, because we don't have many very upgraded things that we'd be able to place there.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not what I want.
Are you getting out the graph paper?
No, I'm not getting out graph paper.
Man, why be so sad, like angry about it, dude?
I
thought
there's no graph paper.
I was commending you, maybe thinking you were like Troy.
No. Troy is far superior to anything that I can do.
What are you doing?
What are you doing is the question.
What are you doing?
Okay.
You making skee ball?
basically, that's not right. I didn't do it right. Let's see. Do we want this? Yeah. Okay. I have circles, right?
Circles is a bit of a stretch.
Ovals. I have 2 rings, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I want you to dig up the inside ring. You don't have any cobble on
Why?
you, right?
No.
Okay, dig it up.
I mean, we could just calculate the area.
Not dig up the grass. Pull up the cobble.
Oh, okay. You said dig up the mother frick.
Okay, I said yes. Pull up. Mind the cobble on the inside ring.
Well, the people who are running around here. Wait, can they pick stuff up?
They're doing great. I don't think they can pick up stuff from our
Okay,
kingdom.
hopefully
One would
not.
hope, anyway.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
I like the Picard facepalm in the chat.
All right. How many cobble do you have?
22.
Throw it down.
We're
at
doing
me.
science, everybody.
Throw
We're
it
doing
down at
science,
me.
everybody. This is really cool. I love science labs.
Yes. Okay. Now dig up the other one.
Yes, it's many more.
Yes. So the point that we keep saying on the inside and the outside track is there are 2 or actually 3 walking lanes. There's the center, the right, and the left on a path. If you design your path so that one side has it remains on the outside based on your circular pattern, it's going to cover a lot more tile, and so you're going to throw off their pattern a lot more because they're literally walking more. So they have a longer path on the outside
I understand
than
that,
the inside.
but the spawn location of every troop is randomized.
Yeah, but you're still breaking things up. It's like there is some RNG factor to it. Okay, 5 walking lanes. There is some RNG factor to it, but still, the point is that if you design it, then you can use that.
So you're saying that basically the cumulative total of like how many circles you're doing, and that this has less circles than Atlas Summit, therefore it's not going to screw up the pathing as much?
Yes and no. Ultimately, I haven't done the math, but ultimately, you're going to have to straighten it out and correct for it.
Yeah,
Like
right. Doesn't it?
The grand
net
total,
zero.
The grand total is net 0, but you can make a section where the grand total is not net 0, and that's the point that they're getting at. Is you make one section where you have a wide outside and a narrow inside, and then and use those switchbacks to your advantage, and then you correct it in the subsequent sections where you kind of fix your straightaway and just account for it. But if you're constantly zigzagging in and out in each of the sections, then you're never really taking advantage of the physics behind it.
Okay.
One
Okay.
inside, one outside. Well, you can't actually. I feel like we know. I feel like we know, but yeah. Now all that said, understanding the concept of what you're trying for is one thing. Understanding how to apply that to actually, design our track so that it does that's Troy graph paper level, man.
Got it. Yeah. So that makes sense. Basically, every barricade you want to have is a very big twisty boy, and then that way, when the new troops are being spawned, then they will always be experiencing. Some will be experiencing very big outward twisty boys.
Right. And the other thing to keep in mind is you can actually I don't know that you could really do it for all 3 sections, but you should be able to do it really well for 2 sections. One section you get a very high deficit of the outside line, in your curve, and then on the next section, that outside line then becomes the inside line, and you get a very high. So it's because,
right.
And so that way you can actually get 2 different sections that exacerbate that particular problem before and reach that net 0, and then you kind of do it straight away or whatever you want to do on the last third.
Right. This do make sense. This do make big sense.
Again, I understand what you're going for. I don't know how to say. So here's what we got to do. Like that's going to take a whole other level of thinking that I'm not qualified for because I ain't smart.
But you are. Do you wish to try it, or do you want me to try it? Or we can stonk podcast in the mines, because I believe we need resources.
I honestly, and it's kind of your call, but in my opinion, I think that we would do better outside of recording for doing path layout because it's it's difficult for us to do at the same time and like I just think that that's a lot of trial and error that isn't necessarily for the content kind of, but like I think the videos are better served if we do something else and then kind of figure that out afterwards and then say, hey, here's what we're doing and here's why. Like, it's better to present a finished product than to sit there and trial and error in front of everything, in my opinion. But that's,
Okay.
You're the expert. I just work here.
Cool. No. What we will do is I'm going to go to Mines. Oh, this is a lot harder to see with the shaders on.
And his regret sets in.
Yeah, I might have to give this a little switch. I'm going to switch this real quick because that is very hard to see. Back to enhanced default. Yep, there we go.
All right.
Okay, I can see again, everybody. This is exciting.
He can see clearly now. The shader's gone.
The shade is gone.
The shade is gone. I mean, I still throw a little shade here and there.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah,
but
no.
But the mines don't.
But the mines don't be. Yeah. Anyway, but we are getting a little bit of rain today, which is nice. I actually got an advisory warning about ping-pong-sized hail, so, like...
Oh, I thought you meant in Fallen Kingdom you were making a joke about turning rain on in the kingdom. You mean actually Utah is receiving rain?
Yes.
That's very exciting.
It is, because Utah do be needing it.
I believe the entirety of the southwest of the United States do be needing it.
Well, Arizona's been getting overall, yes, but Arizona, the monsoon season for Arizona has been pretty significant. So that's been nice for them. Yeah. No, they've had a good rain season this year. I don't think that's necessarily enough to make up for the literal years of drought they've been under, but at least it's something, But yeah, we have in Utah, we have like quite a few of our reservoirs are completely dry. And our big boys are at like half capacity. The Great Salt Lake since they started recording it in the 1800s, it's at the lowest level it's ever been recorded at.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's
good thing we don't drink out of that, right?
We don't drink out of that, but it's also like one of those things that's like it's pretty critically important to a lot of environmental things here. So we kind of need to preserve it. But our legislature is actually trying to change some of the definitions because right now, water going to the Great Salt Lake is legally classified as wastewater or wasted, I guess. Which allows
rain is classified as waste.
Well, I don't know all the legalities of how the water rights work. I know that it gets pretty complicated, but basically, I know from a legal standpoint that water that is sent to the Great Salt Lake is considered wasted, and so that makes it easily divertible because it's like, oh, well, you can do whatever you want with wasted water because then you're using it. But the point being is they're trying to change that definition to say, no, we actually probably ought to, keep this lake around. So a certain amount of that is, instead of being wasted, is actually necessary. And so they're working on something that way. Whether they actually achieve anything or not, I mean, it's that's a bigger question and getting into politics. But the thought's there, right? So, but there's. I remember reading an article. I don't remember the name of it, but it's a river in California that I guess goes.
Oh no.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Oh no! Oh boy! A river in California. Yeah, sorry. It's a bit of a problem I was experieing. Yeah. Tell me about it.
There's a river in California that I guess like it frequently has so many like agriculture diversions and stuff like that it basically dries up in the middle, but then gets like more tributaries feed it, and so it's like a guy tried to go down it on a kayak or whatever and had to carry his kayak in certain areas and then be careful of whitewater and other, and it's just like so completely. You died. You were squished by an oozer.
That was a cluster truck right there. Oh my God. So yeah. It was
It was
the
just a
Colorado River? Like, are we
I
talking Big River?
Nah, I don't think it was the Colorado River. I don't know which. I
Okay.
don't like. I remember the name of the Colorado River and because but it was some river I hadn't heard of. But it's, I mean, a moderately sized river that I guess is so mismanaged water wise that it's like they basically dry it out and fill it back up and dry it out and fill it back up. Like it's not one contiguous river anymore. It's kind of
Got it.
strange. But yeah, the drought in the west, it's a bit of an issue. So I'm glad to get a little bit of rain. And then, I have friends quite a few friends who are in the Texas area, and it's like it just won't stop raining there. Like it just rains and rains and rains.
Hmm.
In the the Houston, Austin areas. Excuse me, that's setting me in the fire, and that gets me killed faster. So I kill you, meanie head. Now I'm gonna die.
So I wonder, are we gonna reach a like South Africa day zero thing where the water is just like gonna run out? How long until that happens?
I mean, yeah, if we're not smart, like.
Since when are we smart about anything?
I would completely agree, particularly about our climate and environment, But yeah, no, there's definite possibilities. I know that like at least here we have a secondary water system in a lot of areas that basically it's pulled from the reservoirs, but it's not made drinkable, so that you can use it on crops and stuff a lot cheaper and. Or like just watering your lawn, like, I mean, all sorts of uses that are just for non-drinking purposes, and those are usually turned on at the beginning of, like April and then turned off in October, and it's like this year that it was like, they turned it on in June and I think it's already turned off or whatever because it's just there's no water for it, so. I mean, we're definitely reaching points where it's a problem, and we're only getting.
When you just run out of water, well, what do you do? What do you do? Do you just abandon your home and you flee elsewhere? Is that kind of the only scenario?
I feel like there's other options. I mean, they're financially difficult, yes, but there are more options than flee. I feel like there's. As the water becomes more expensive, then the higher levels of conservation are implemented, and you try and do what you can. But ultimately, if you run out of water, then it's like, what are you import bottled water or something? Now you're
just shower with shower by pouring bottled water on your head.
Now you're paying tankers to bring water in, and water's extremely expensive. I mean, I'm not a city manager. I don't have the answers to this, but. I don't know. Hopefully,
sounds like the city managers also don't have the answers to this.
From what I've seen, it's typically more like the city managers are like, hey, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to do this, and then people don't do it because it's.
And then it's like, but this eats into our profits.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing is it's like one of the. Okay, I am being attacked by an invisible man of invisibility. There he is. But what was I? Oh yeah, it's not so much that it's like the people like you and your showers. Like it doesn't help to take overly long showers. I'm not saying you like specifically CaptainSparklez, but
Zine has surveyed me on my shower length, and he's determined I am the worst.
Hey, I saw you.
No, it's industrial, it's agriculture, and things like that.
Yeah, it's agriculture, and so then it becomes do we need to optimize what we grow in areas so that the crops that require less water are grown more in less plentiful areas, and you'd think, well, why aren't we already doing that? But it's the like the profit on hay or whatever, which takes a ton of water, is still significantly higher than what you can get off of. I don't know cropology, so I can't tell you, but
cropology.
The point being is that killed me? Really? Okay.
Oh no.
I mean, I'm pretty much just like gathering stuff and then dying, and then gathering stuff and dying, but it's fine.
Are you able to re-fetch the stuff that you dropped?
This I don't have the mental map of this particular area, so it's like I don't even know where I am at any given moment. I have an impeccable sense of direction. I have an impeccable sense of direction. But at any rate, because so much of water rights and so much of how it works is grandfathered from much more prevalent times, and the allocations and such it's highly political to change them, and it's a just a lot of problems all around. So naturally, when something has a lot of politics behind it, then nothing ever happens with it, and we just wring our hands and kick the can until someone else has to deal with it. The only problem is we've been doing that for so long that now we're at the point where we have to deal with it, and we have absolutely no ability to.
Yeah, but the problem is until it's actually gonna like impact the right now lives of the people who make the decisions, it's never gonna happen because the old fogies who are in charge of everything are like, I'm gonna be unalived by the time that this matters, so
Yeah. I mean,
You know.
and it's, I mean, to an extent, somewhat old fogies, but it's also people, they don't want the. Okay, it's just, it's very hard to have this conversation because it's a very inherently political process, and I know you try and stay away from it, but it's just, it would be the government coming in and saying, hey, we only have this many resources, so we need to reallocate, and that's the government interfering with somebody, with private citizens who already have businesses established and expectations of what they're allowed and all of these things, and then it's getting taken from them, and that's obviously going to make people who are typically prominent very upset. And so it takes a lot of political will, it takes a lot of necessity, and it takes sacrifice of financial gain, and those are all things that we don't do very well here. So there's a lot of problem behind the whole situation, and we want to think that it's easy to blame the old fogies who don't have to worry about it, so to speak, for it. But I don't know that if we were to actually look into it that we would do that much better, I don't know that the evidence is there to say that, the younger generation is automatically going to be able to do X or Y better. I mean, things do change generationally for sure, and typically, I definitely have a lot of problems with how the boomers have run stuff, and am not necessarily unexcited to see them hand over power to other people. But I mean, I think that part of it is inherently we think of it as greed, but it's also just their money. What defines greed and what doesn't when it's what money you feel like you've worked for. So, but ultimately, it's people not wanting to give up some of their resources, and that's very difficult to resolve, especially when you have literal hundreds of years of grandfathered clauses and lobbying and exceptions and work and
grandfather clause? I thought there was only one Santa Claus.
And that's why I killed him, Your Honor. And no one would convict. But
I don't know. Santa might be sad.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's a whole thing. But the last piece that I was going to say is we're actually seeing a lot of this on COVID-related topics too. Is just people aren't always great with empathy, and so if something isn't actively impacting them, then they don't really fully understand it or give stock to it or consider it. And
sure.
And that also applies to again, taking long showers and stuff like that. Unless they're actually limited on their water, they don't automatically think, hey, I know that there's this whole shortage going on, but that's fine. I'm going to go take a nice relaxing bath and then a hot shower after, and get a scrub and whatnot. I don't know, but it's to take it from a concept that we're hearing about on the news, and there's just more famine and war and everything, and we kind of almost disregard it, to a point where we understand and appreciate this is impacting me and this is impacting my life. That's a deficit that isn't really closed when we talk about the environmental stuff and these resources. We know conceptually that it's there, but it doesn't hit that close to home, because up to this point we're primarily masking it. We have experts that are looking at things going, it's getting bad, it's getting bad, it's getting bad. But we still go to the store and there's still bottled water in the store. We still turn on a tap and there's still water coming out of the tap. So it can't be that bad, right? And it's kind of like talking about the degradation of the ocean biomes and overfishing and everything like that. you can read about it and you go, oh, that's terrible, but you don't. That doesn't mean that it really means that much to you of what's going to happen or how it's going to happen, because if I want sushi, I can still order sushi. If I like I'm still breathing air, so clearly some part of that's still working, and well, I mean, but and so it just becomes these experts that are just talking in the background of saying, oh, everything's bad, but it doesn't mean anything to us. And so that's something that I don't know how to overcome or resolve, but you can definitely see in the environmental impacts and things that kind of phenomenon or whatever coming into play.
People can just tune into the Fallen Kingdom videos and then be sad about everything.
Yeah, no, but other than that, guys, the world's great and we're happy and we're playing games. Right?
Please don't come after me. No! Oh my god. Why is it targeting me? Target the other dude.
Wow.
Rick. All right, you're the worst. You are the worst shulker. Dude, Mines 4 is like just so impossible to KH out of.
Yes. 5's not that much better with the Vexes.
Okay. Whew. There we go. We're good. We're good. But yeah, the world is in great shape, and there's
you turn
a lot of
You tune in here to feel good about things, and we're delivering. Everything's great.
Yeah, welcome everybody. Hopefully you tune into streams for entertainment and happiness and excitement, and we like to just flip that on its head.
Okay, go away.
Slimy balls up to about 5 stacks.
Good.
If we invested all of the world's money into desalination, do you think it would be a viable source of water for all humanity?
I mean, I think that I don't know enough about desalination technology to say yes or no, but yes, I think so. The reality is that yeah, I mean, money in building infrastructure, sure, but it's the power draw required in desalination. It's
right,
and so really, what it needs to come down to is this is partly my political stance, I suppose, and I don't mean to say it's the only one. There are other views and points and stuff, but realistically speaking, nuclear energy is the safest, cleanest energy we have. By orders of magnitude, safer and cleaner. More people.
That's not very political. I mean, if it's political, I've said it before on my stream. So
and if we had to get to that point where we're generating enough electricity that we have to desalinize water and basically be pulling from the oceans and stuff like that, then we're gonna have to get over our fear of the unknown and our fear of the what if, and actually conquer some of these issues. And we'd probably have to go, in my opinion, I would expect that things would have to kind of move in that direction, because there's not a good power source outside of that we can really feasibly go towards at this point. I mean, we are expanding solar.
Just bring the sun here and do the fusion.
But at some point, we need to stop, burning our ancestors and recognize that's not going to get us very far.
What do you mean burning our ancestors? What are you, chucking bodies into a furnace?
I mean, that's what you do in your car every day.
Yeah, but they're dinosaurs. They're not my grandparents.
You say that, but anyway, but yeah, whatever you say there, bud. But regardless, we need to stop trying to just burn everything and see that as our way out, and instead try and come up with some other ideas.
Yeah, no, I mean, but the thing is, the sun, like solar energy, I guess it just depends if you can get enough matter to make the amount of solar panels, because the sun's energy is obviously quite enough to do just about everything that you would need it to do.
Sure.
It's just a matter of whether or not you can actually make enough solar panels in order to accomplish that. But yes, E equals MC squared is pretty cool and gets you lots of power.
It's true.
Don't worry, we'll have fusion will be ready in just another 10 years.
Bro,
Fusion will be. It's kind of gonna be like
that,
it's gonna be like self-driving.
I've been hearing that longer than you've been alive. I mean, and I know that's the joke you're making, but seriously, like, yeah, it's definitely happening. I mean, we can do fusion at this point. Like, we've gotten that far.
Oh yeah, it's just not energy positive.
It's just not energy positive, you know. But at some point, we also need to kind of recognize that lay to rest the whole. It takes more energy to build electrical cars than gas and stuff. Like that's just a lot of pretty debunked stuff. But this. Man, we need to find something else to talk about because everything I think of, like, well, that would lead into this, and I'm like, that's just more bleak. Like everything is bleak in when you like. Really,
I mean, if we're being honest, the world is
we're in bleak. A rough spot. We're in a rough spot.
Yeah, things are gonna be bad for pretty much forever. I always say,
okay, that's bleak.
that I don't think humanity survives another 100 years.
At
least not in its current form. I think that we might humans will still exist. They won't be extinct, but it'll be like post-apocalyptic pockets of society that have found ways to be self-sustaining. But I think on a massive scale, it doesn't last another 100 years.
Honestly, I'm just like, hey, guys, can we just hold it together for like another 50 years? And then I clock out and I don't care what you do.
But that's the problem. That's the wrong thought, right? Because if everybody thinks, oh, it's not going to be a problem in my lifetime, then it never gets solved.
Well, that's not to say that I don't do what I can. Like, I drive an electric vehicle. Do you?
No, but I don't drive very much, so.
But I recognize, I hope that the world holds itself together, but I also try and do what I can to contribute in my parts. And it's like, are there ways that I could be better? Yes, I don't have a composting pile out back that there's things that people do that are much further than I do, but I try and be mindful and I try and do as much as I can and so I don't know that it's necessarily like that's part of the problem automatically applies. Like, yes, I want things to hold together, but I'm also willing to do my part to try and help hold it together while I'm here. Not just burn it down and say, and that's what I kind of like feel like this is a very generalized sense, but there have been studies about how the, primarily the boomer generation, or as it was known before they recoined themselves, as the boomer generation. They were previously known as the me generation, but they are like basically the first classified generation that has left their children with less than they were given by their parents. And through time, it was always about making life a better life for your kids, and each generation did that up to the boomers, and the boomers were like, I'll take more of that and more of that and more of that. And you know what, you guys, why are you, you eat your avocado toasts and I don't understand why you don't have a home. By the time I was your age, I owned my own house. And it's like, yeah, it's a little bit different out here.
Pick yourself up by the bootstraps, kiddo.
Bootstraps, kiddo. But, so I don't think it's necessarily like I don't have the attitude of like I will rip and pillage because I'm not gonna have to deal with it. It's just I'm more like, please God, let it hold together so that I don't have to deal with Mad Max style stuff because in the event of the zombie apocalypse, I think we've discussed, like, I just hope to be one of the early victims. Like, just clock me out. Like, I'm out,
Yeah, I mean, if the water wars happen and everybody is unaliving each other, I'm like, I've had a good run. I don't know if I'm going to go unalive other people so I can get water myself, because that's probably what it's going to come down to.
I mean, again, that's a pretty extreme example, and we understand we're being hyperbolic, but there is a certain amount of truth to it that we need to start looking at things and understanding that we are not running at a net zero. We are definitely running at a deficit on almost all the things that we're doing. And that's got to change if we want to be able to hold this together at all. But one of the interesting things, for me, is I saw, I think it was a Reddit thread that was basically just an Ask Reddit that for once wasn't women of Reddit, what do you wish men knew about you every other day, but every other day, man. I can tell you what all this. Every time, like, First off, shave the beard off your
teenagers.
neck. That's the first thing they hope for. Yeah. No. But no, there was an ask of like what invention, or what modern invention that's highly used is, just absolutely terrible for society, like has held society back. And as weird as it is, like, one of the more common ones was like a Keurig because of how much, manufacturing waste or plastic and everything goes into each individual cup of coffee. But as weird as it is, the first thing that occurred to me was just was basically the internet. The internet is an excellent opportunity to learn and grow your experience and to hear from other people. But that's not what people like. People want to be reaffirmed that what they think is right, and so they go.
Oh no, I have 100% said, like I've said numerous times to like in private conversations, the internet was a mistake.
The internet's a mistake. Like it just allows people to wallow in their confirmation bias with other people. And instead of being able to challenge and grow, it's like, oh no, now instead of me saying, hey, look, there's all these other people and there's all these other cultures and there's all these other races and types and people and things, so I should diversify and understand this all, it's, here's my people over here, I'm going to go stand with them and we'll wall out everybody else. And it's like, stop it! But,
well, I mean, I'm not afraid to say, hey, get vaccinated.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Don't be silly. Well, that's the thing is if you had for polio or something like that, during that time, I don't think there was a great deal of argument. I obviously wasn't there, but it seems like given that polio was eradicated more or less, people were pretty good at adopting that. Seeing that there was a solution to this thing that was crippling their children, they were like, oh, you know what? Probably we should. This seems to be working. Okay, we're going to go for it. But I do wonder if in this day and age with the internet, would it have worked? Would it have happened? Would polio have been eradicated if the same scenario presented itself with the internet in its form today?
No, it wouldn't have. But I think that it's different than kind of, I think, what you're expecting. In terms of, and again, speaking on my opinions and my extrapolations, and I am not claiming to be an expert in this, but polio was the polio vaccine was kind of a mandated thing. Polio, as I understand it, affected far fewer people than COVID did.
Right, of course, but it was more. It crippled people. So
yeah, but
there was
killing
such
people
a
like that. I don't know that I don't know.
No, but here's the thing: So you hear about the numbers and the cases, but you have all these people who are like, oh, I got it and I was fine, right? With polio, you have these lasting effects that you never get over. With COVID, you don't, sure, some people say, oh, I have difficulty breathing, but it doesn't physically scar you and leave you unable to walk. I think if COVID did that and you were seeing people all over the place with those lasting impacts, there would not be nearly as much discussion about taking a vaccine.
Again, I'm not sure I fully agree because from what I understand, like polio's disfigurement and stuff was a very, very small percentage, just like the COVID long, what do they call it? Long COVID now, where you have months or people who had it and still haven't fully recovered. And polio, it was like a fraction of, or it was a very small percentage of people that actually were paralyzed and stuff. A lot of people could get it and then recover to some extent from it. Maybe some amount of, problems, but not necessarily just, my legs don't work sort of thing. But I think you had a much more political will to push the polio vaccine, and people were less able to find counterpoints and reasons for it. But I think it almost is more just a more hardlined government approach to it than it is necessarily like people's impression of it, because there's articles that have been found from the Spanish flu days where they've talked about where it newspaper articles and yellow journalism basically doing the same thing that we see now with COVID, which is, it's not that big a deal. It's no big problem. Like everything's, it's being overblown. They're just trying to control you and just all these crazy things. And that's from so long ago, but they weren't able to utilize the internet to create groups and to feed each other and to echo chamber each other nearly as effectively. Right. And so you didn't have the counter movement build the way that you have seen with COVID. And then you also had a government that was more adamant or forceful in its enforcement, rather than where it's become very political here to for a certain party, it's almost proving your accolades or bona fides to deny and denounce the COVID's impact. And so, I don't know that it necessarily was in the political structure quite like it is now, like it is now. But there certainly were people that looked back on it and denied it. A lot of people know the name Typhoid Mary, but they don't really necessarily know the story other than just it was the sick. But Typhoid Mary was a super spreader who never got sick, but was obviously colonized and she worked as a maid. And she had typhoid, the bacteria on her, and she, for whatever reason, whatever mutation, whatever cause, wasn't ever affected by it. But every house that she would work with, they would come down.
There
with
are
typhoid.
Carriers in most diseases,
in
aren't
most
there?
yeah, exactly. And she was a carrier, but she denied it and she fought it. And I don't remember whether they ended up imprisoning her or something, but it was she kept going and finding new homes to go and work for and denying that this was a thing. And so that's why it became known as, you're Typhoid Mary because you're just spreading it around. It's because it was that, it's not a big deal. It's not actually a thing. I don't believe the science. All that, it's all the same refrains, just in a different time. So the denial and the ignorance has always been there. It's just now, again, through the way that we've decided as people to utilize the internet to reaffirm ourselves, the counter movements can echo chamber themselves into much more organized groups, and it's also a part of the political spectrum to show your defiance to it, which is just lunacy to me. I don't think diseases really give a crap about liberal, conservative, any of that nonsense. It's just, here's a disease. So, but at any rate, there's definitely indicators that people did the same thing back in the Spanish flu era and all of that.
Right, it was just harder for them to recruit others to their cause.
Exactly. So I don't know that and to bring that kind of back to the whole polio thing, I think that there were still those same people, same but different, right? But those same types of people that were arguing there, but you had more strict, forceful enforcement of vaccination policies, and you just had less ability for people to continue to have their doubts, as we see with COVID stuff and COVID vaccines, even though there's no intelligence behind any of the doubt stuff. It's yes, we have this disease, it's killing literally hundreds of thousands, if not already millions of people, but I'm just not entirely sure whether this vaccine that we haven't had any real cases of it having major issues except for a few allergic reactions is really safe for me. The numbers don't line up very much in your favor there, and you're doubting, and it's and then the last final piece to that is that, again, this is with COVID, it's a virus that tends to mutate a lot. It's not very stable in its genetic code, and so mutations are introduced fairly regularly. And then ultimately the vaccines become ineffective because it mutates past where the vaccine is effective, and we're seeing that with Delta. And also there's a lot more concern with the Lambda variant, which you haven't really heard about in the mainstream news yet, but that is
I've seen it on Twitter.
Yeah, it's starting to go around in the medical circles as a pretty big oh gosh thing, the Lambda variant. But by having this group of people that refuse to get vaccinated, and by basically enabling the virus to maintain and not be eradicated, but instead just pass through this group, eventually it mutates to a point where now the entire populace is at risk again. And unless we got everybody to work together to take a vaccine and to kill it once and for all, it's always going to have enough time in all the people playing little baby incubators to corrupt it and change to a point where now we're all at risk again. And that's, you look at the numbers, and that's basically what the Delta variant is. Yes, the vaccine still dramatically helps to lower your chance of infection, and then extremely dramatically lowers the severity if you do get caught in a breakthrough case. but we're still seeing infectivity go up. We're seeing breakthrough cases increase, and you know the pattern is happening exactly as predicted by all these people that were saying, you know, that we're claiming or denying us our rights. And it's just it's silly talk. But other than that, things are great, and everybody should feel happy who have tuned in to this wonderful episode of Fallen Kingdom. How goes your collection?
Oh, I'm doing a 1v1 right now.
Okay, all right.
You know how it is.
Yeah. You good to wrap it up? We're over time a little bit, and
yeah. I got a pretty decent amount of slimy balls.
Everyone's
and
feeling worse about everything, so we've done.
Yeah. No, it's definitely good. What's going on here?
Yeah. So if you we want to thank our sponsor, the Fallen Kingdom server, and CaptainSparklez for helping to bring this uplifting series to you. You can join and play with us at play.fallenkingdom.co. We'd love to see you. You can create your castle, bring on your friends, and then ultimately level up and fight us. Visit our castle and make fun of the way that we do things. It's the dream. It's the dream, and it can be you. We also want to thank our ongoing sponsor, MC Pro Hosting. If you happen to want to play with those friends doing adventure maps or modded series or even vanilla survival, then make sure you check out the link in our descriptions for them. You can save 25% off if you use that link, and that will also go to help and support us with what we do. So we thank you for that. And then, same description as the link to the playlist as always, so you can catch up on your very favorite episodes and all the song casts and whatnot. And then, we do this live. You can come see it as it happens. Twitch.tv/CaptainSparklez, Twitch.tv/Zine. Come throw a follow. Doesn't cost you a thing. And then you can see it and talk to us in real time, like, you know, like 1, 2, off you go. So do all that. And is there anything left for you, sir?
No, you're pretty much all good, dude.
Cool. All right. Bye, guys.